Hello there and then welcome to a brand new video. We are still on BECE 2023 and this is question 4. Now as you can see it says at a political rally there are 240 women, 200 men, 160 boys and 120 girls. Draw a pie chart to illustrate the information, and then it goes on to ask that what percentage of the people at the rally were females. So to go about this, the first thing we need to do is to get the total number of individuals. You see, the total number. And how do we get the total? We have to add the number of men to the number of women to the number of boys and then girls. You see. So let's first find the total number of people. So the total number of people is going to be the number of women plus the number of men plus the number of boys and then plus the number of girls. You see, so that is going to be number of women was what? 240 plus the number of men, which was 200, plus the number of boys, which was 160, and then plus the number of girls, which is 120. If you have to add all of this, 240 plus, that gives us 720. So we have 720. So this here is the total number of what people. Now, to draw a pie chart, we need to get the various sectors of what the entities we have here. By that I mean the sector that will represent women, that of boys, girls, and then men. You see, so the sector is equal to the number of the entity we are talking about. So the number of entity all over the total, and then times 360. So with that in mind, if you want the sector that will represent women, it's going to be the number of women. We know the number of women to be 240. So 240 over the total number of people, which is 720. And then we multiply that by 360 degrees. You see, and if you do that, you are going to get a 120 degrees. After that, we come to what? The sector that represents men. So the same thing applies. The number of men, which is 200. So we have 200 over 720, which is the total, then times 360, right? And if you evaluate that, you have to get 100 degrees. So you can do that for boys and then girls as well. So for boys, that is the number of boys. In this case is 160. So 160 divided by the total number of people, which is 720, then times 360 degrees. If you evaluate that, you are going to get an 80 degrees. Then for the very last one, which is the sector that they are going to represent what? Girls. So the number of girls, there were 120 girls. So 120 minus 720, then times 360. Evaluating that gives us a 60 degrees. So this implies that the pie chart we are going to draw is going to have a sector of 120 representing women, then a sector of 100 degrees representing men, then a sector of what? 80 degrees representing boys, and then for girls we are going to use a sector of 60 degrees, right? So to draw our pie chart, the first thing we need to do is to get our circle. You see, so this here is going to be my circle. You see, so after drawing your circle, you then take your protractor. You see, you take your protractor and you draw a straight line. So let me make this circle smaller a little. So this here is my circle, and I need a straight line that would denote where I'll start. You see, so this is my straight line over here. Then for the first angle that represents women, it says 120. So on my zero line, I come all the way. This is where I have my 120. You see that over here, 120. So all I need is for it to be here. So I've drawn my first sector. Then I move my protractor to come and then be on the angle I have already measured. And this time around, I want 100°. So I come and then look for my 100. Since I am using my outer calibration, this is where my 100 is going to be. So we come here, then we just put that over here nicely. Now after that is done, you then come and then align your compass, just as I have said earlier on. So with it on this, and I'll come and then look for my 80 degrees. This is where my 80 degrees is. All I need is for it to be here. So this is my 80. And if you take your time to do whatever you're supposed to do well, and then you measure angles correctly, realize that you wouldn't need to even measure the last one. It gives us our 60 degrees, as you see over there. So with our sectors drawn, we can now come and then write the appropriate labels. So this is for women, and that is a 120 degrees. And we have the other one, which is men, that is 100 degrees. And then the boys being an 80 degrees. And then finally 60 degrees representing girls, right? So this is your pie chart. Now that answers the very first question. Now the next one says, what percentage of the people at the rally were females? What percentage of the people at the rally were females? Now we know female, when we talk of female, then we mean the number of women, then plus the number of girls, you see. So the number of women here were what? 240. So we have 240 plus the number of girls, which is 120, you see. So adding that together, we are going to get what? A 360. But do we need the number of females? The question asks us to look for the percentage, you see. So it means the percentage of females is going to be the number of females, you see, and that is 360. So the number of females over the total number of people times 100, you see. So evaluating this, you are then going to get what? A 50%. That is, if you evaluate 360 over 720 times 100, you get a 50%. So it simply means that the percentage of the people at the rally who were females were what? 50%. So that ends this particular question. And as usual, I'll leave you with some exercises to try on your own to test your understanding. This is question 1 and this is question 2. They all require you to draw pie charts. This is how Beyond Numbers, where we learn maths the easy way. If this is your first time, you can always choose to subscribe. That is, if you so do wish, so that anytime I release a video, you'll be notified as well. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and bye for now.